All right, day 5. Kind of had a rain delay yesterday. We didn't dare to tear any more roof off with the looming weather, so we organized and cleaned up. We're ready to rock today. Oh yeah, well, a lot more room up here. Getting those supports out of there. You can see, and like I mentioned before, we figured out that this is probably for homing pigeons. So here we go. Here we go. So this is day 5. We are cleaning up a little bit, getting set up first thing in the morning. It's cold like usual. We're bundled up. I'm taking collar ties down that we had on the old log rafters. Getting ready to start tearing out some of the rafters so that we can install our new ones. On the left hand side there by the ladder, you can see we're getting close to the valley, that first valley on the left hand side of the dormer in the front of the building where the pigeon coop was for the homing pigeons. At least that's what we think it was. Now I'm working on the right hand side. I'm tearing out. I can see some daylight coming through, so I must be cutting some of the boards out. Yeah, you can see I'm tearing some of the roof boards out, freeing up the rafters. I think we got a piece of plywood out of the way so we can get in and out. Kind of up on that cupola where we were planning on lightening that up as much as possible and trying to get it down in possibly one piece, but so kind of starting to tear some of the roofing off here and trying to hit me with it, looks like. He was up there for a few minutes. There was several roofs on there, of course. Had the shake on the bottom, and then I think I had a couple of asphalt roofs on top, and we started looking at it, and actually Ken came down, decided maybe we're gonna go with plan B and not take that cupola off the roof, because as you can see, he's looking at it here. See a little smoke rolling out of his ears. We talked about it. We looked at the structure. It was sound. So, and we decided to come up with our new plan, which was to lift it up. Now we're making space so that we can support that cupola that's up on the roof. It's pretty large, and we want to make sure it's supported. And what we've came up with was a plan to lift the cupola up off of the roof so that we can run our rafters and run plywood under the edges of it so that we can set it back down on the roof structure itself and reframe the base where it meets the roof. We have to anyways, because we're changing the pitch of the roof a little bit. So we had to raise, with the plates being so unlevel, we had to raise part of it. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing now. I'm up in there, I'm getting some measurements, checking, putting some boards up. I'm going to start putting some uprights in there that we can support the cupola while we remove rafters. Yeah, there's Ken's putting some supports in, getting some measurements, cutting the angle on the end, tying it in. Now I'm over on the left-hand side, and I'm starting to cut out the roof boards on the left-hand side so I can start taking some of the rafters out. We got that supported there. You can see some of the 4 posts, double 2x6s and stuff that we put in to support that. And they should start coming loose here anytime. There we go. I'm taking one of them out now, pulling the nails out of it, and then we're storing them downstairs. I think I mentioned before that they're going to be Ken's going to be putting those back up after he finishes the inside of this building. I think it's going to be like a, I'm not sure, like a little man cave area or something like that, like a rec area, rec room or something like that. He thinks he's gonna be putting like 12-inch tongue and groove or some kind of lap boards or something on the inside of the building on those rafters that we're putting in, and they're gonna try to then he's gonna take those rafters that we're removing, the log ones, and put them back up so it looks like the logs are still supporting the roof structure. So it looks like we're getting some. I'm working on the plate on the far side, on the left-hand side. We have to, you know, with the valleys and whatnot going on over there, we can't take off too much of the structure. So we're doing little sections of the plate, the raised plate, to level that off, doing little sections at a time. I'm trying to do, you know, over 3 foot if I can. You know, I'm trying to keep them as long as possible, but he can't take off that much structure because it's still supporting part of that structure up on the roof, the cupola, and that gable end there, like a dormer that comes off the front. I think we're gonna run around like chickens with our heads cut off. Morning, day 6. Up here, a lot hasn't changed. You can see what's going on here. We did decide to leave the cupola up, braced it from underneath. We tore some more of the ceiling out here, as you can see, rough. And you're looking at the valley here, and we've obviously raised the roof over here, so we're going to have to tie that valley back in. We're going to try to keep the same pitch on that front dormer there. And it is cold and windy. And calling for rain Monday. So we are going to be hustling today, trying to get this buttoned up enough to get tarped again. Here we go. See the cupola here. I showed it earlier. We got it suspended by 4 supports. Trying to get these logs out of here. So what I've done is cut it back so I can put 2x6 in here and screw to this original structure. Then we can get these, transfer the weight over to these supports on the outside. Then I can take these 2 logs out of here. Can you see all that? It's all in my eyes.
Saturday morning, our 6th day on the job.
Trying to get the sun out of it.
Yeah. And I'm just getting ready to sew up the first 12 feet. Just cutting the rafter ends up to the gable end. And should have this done pretty soon. And then we're in an interesting spot now. So stay tuned.
Repair from yesterday where that split was, and now that this is open here, I'm gonna try to put a few more in it right here, see if I can draw this in a little bit more. Definitely drew in.
A little better.
Yeah, it was loose. It's drawn in. Really needs a steel plate on there, but we don't have one. Well, I cut a piece of this oak. Might as well be steel. Way to burn the blade. That grain. I marked the spot where the bolt's gonna go. See here where it's trying to split, so I'm going to try to put this on there, see if I can draw it in with that. It's better. If you remember before, this crack here was probably almost an inch wide. Got it down to about 3/16 or so. We're taking a little lunch here, and then looks like I'm ripping some plywood for Ken. He's up on the top on the left-hand side there. We finished up that little strip there at the top. Now I'm pulling a string and stuff over here on the side, checking my plate I'm adding, checking some levels. It was a little high, there's a little hump right there. So Ken grabbed his power plane and planed it down. We got it where we could put a board on there. It was relatively flat. And we checked it. And that's where you see there on the far left hand side is that taper has run out, and we are now back onto the beam itself. So, and then putting up a few rafters, having fun under that cupola. Ken's up in the box there, and we put up a spacer bar to keep our rafters on center, handing up some plywood. Like I said, we're trying to get buttoned up because there was rain in the forecast. We definitely had to have some support for our tarps and stuff. We got a lot of open areas where we had a lot of open areas. So right here, that plywood slipped out of Ken's hand and fell. That was a close one. He hollered though. I jumped out of the way. Yeah, a couple more pieces here. I think we sent up a couple of temporary pieces just to cover the hole so we could get a tarp on there. We had the same kind of Same kind of deal on the other side. I think we put up a couple of temporary pieces because we hadn't got into that valley enough to frame it. Always something always comes up. You always think you're going to get done more than you do. That's just, that's just the way it is. Well, we put in a pretty long day that day. I think that was about a 11 or 12-hour day. We cleaned up, and you see it's getting dark outside, or darker. Probably cleaned up and get ready for the next day. Hello, day 7. Looks like we're getting started here. Looks like we're doing fascia board. I just ripped a board. I think they're 4.5 inches is what we've been running. Just ripped a board, sent it out to Ken. He's out there. I'm going to go out and help him get it. Now ripping the strips to finish off the bottom after we install the fascia board. So before we can put the fascia board on, we obviously got to trim the rafter tails off. That's what we're doing here. I already marked the plumb cut. You see I'm checking it there with a level. It's because that smaller 2-foot level has an adjustable end on it. You can adjust, lock it into position to check pitches or level or whatever you want to do. Well, I didn't realize it wasn't set at 0, so I cut one of the tails incorrectly. So I think we were able to trim it up though and fix it. So we're cutting this bottom cut now for the soffit area, and then we're gonna hang that fascia board. I believe it looked like it was gonna rain, so we were kind of holding off on tearing the tarps off, but it looks like it cleared up enough to we decided to go for it. Opened it up. It's not sunny blue sky. A little daylight there showing though. Oh, now we're tearing the roof off that dormer. That's what I call it, dormer. There's still cedar shake on there from 100 years ago. They were really brittle, real dry, real dusty. You can see the dust in the air probably with the light coming through. We got that tore off. We left the boards on the roof as much as we could to hold the spacing for the rafters that are existing. Then we tried to get as many rafters in as we could so that we could lay out our cuts for our rafters where they're coming into the valley. Looks like now I'm doing possibly doing the plate. Yeah, it looks like I'm starting to get into where the plate area is. Again, like I've said, we could only do short sections because of the limited amount that we could tear off. So yeah, I'm putting some pieces in there. I think I try to stagger them so that the seams aren't together. Level everything, put shims in, level it back and forth, then get some measurements for, yeah, Ken's at the store, I believe. He went for materials, so I'm working alone. I think I just told him to pick up shims on the phone. Oh, he's back. We're getting the boards in now. He went, that's what he was at the store, getting rafters. So now we're gonna put these next couple in. Try to get over there to the valley. Get our rafters cut. We're taking out that pigeon coop area. We tried to take it out in large pieces, so if they ever decide they want to try to put it back or rebuild it, they can. Looks like I'm cutting them rafters possibly right there. A lot of farting around, messing around there, trying to get that cut. Oh, some more plywood for the bottom there. We got the rafter tails cut off and fascia board on. And I'm doing some, a couple of the rafters were a little short because they had bad spots in them. Had some knots or some splitting or something that we cut off, so they ended up being a little short, so we added a couple of little tail extensions on there. First time you ever put a tarp on here? Well, that's about it for the night. We're wrapping up. Ken's up on the roof putting the last of the tarps down. You can see by the sky how overcast it is, and it's getting fairly late in the day. The sun's getting pretty low on the horizon. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment if you have a question or anything about what we're doing. Leave a comment or a question, and I will try to answer it as soon as I can. Thank you. Bye.